It's just here circling. It says welcome, circle, circle, circle. Welcome, circle. You sound like Carol.
Yeah, a little
Carol!
bit of a carol going on there.
That was a squeaky door, but, you know. Okay.
I,
That's
I
a
said you
clown.
had talents.
Yeah.
Your talent lies in voice acting, not necessarily Foley artistry. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay,
Sound effects
guys.
can be tricky.
Yeah. Welcome to DerNami Podcast episode 13, titled Tonight's Lucky Numbers Are Whatever You Want Them to Be. That's the joy of the podcast. I'm joined by Arcadia Zero and Vast Empires. We don't really have anything very specific to talk about, so we're going to shotgun it and see what sticks. I do have a few gaming-related things that I have lined up, that I lined up through the day. Some of it is Fortnite. Some of it is Tokyo Game Show. Some of it is a little bit of Armored Core nostalgia.
Ooh. Hit me with that.
You want to hear about the Armored Core stuff first?
Dude, hit me with that Armored Core. I haven't heard about that game in so long.
Alright, so Armored Core. And Danny wants the number to be 7. That is your lucky number, Danny. So, some guys from Metal Gear Solid have partnered with some guys from the Armored Core franchise, have partnered with Square Enix to bring a new game called Left Alive, I think. Or something like that. Anyway, It's from the character designers of Metal Gear Solid and the mech designers of Armored Core and the money of Square Enix. And they
my goodness.
And they just announced it today. And they have a little trailer, and that's it. And
what
I
is
haven't
this trailer
played.
called?
I have not. Just look up Left Alive, I believe.
Left Alive.
Yeah.
Noted.
I haven't played an Armored Core game since I was still talking with my cousin, and I used to go to his lake house, that rich bastard, and play PlayStation, and he had a copy of Armored Core. And that's all I remember.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
Hold on a minute while I bathe in nostalgia.
So, Vest, did you ever play Armored Core? Like, was it one of your things?
No, it is not in my wheelhouse, but it does have a very fancy pedigree. So I'm actually kind of curious and secretly popping into my phone's YouTube to look at the trailer.
Okay, now I will say Armored Core has some of the most gorgeous trailers and cinematics of video games for its time.
Yeah.
At first you thought, like, oh my gosh, this has to be some kind of movie. Nope, it's just a cinematic clip from Armored Core.
That is where the world of customization started. I feel like Armored Core nailed it before anyone else.
Yep,
all of the stuff that you could do with all of the mechs were incredible.
And if they made one like now, like a modern Armored Core, not the one from like 6 years ago, it would, oh man,
yeah,
it could be delicious.
I saw the cover of it and I'm like, that's Metal Gear Solid cover art. Nope, Left Alive. It's sure to be interesting.
Yes, I agree.
I haven't even thought about Armored Core in like a year, 2 maybe. Bring it up every once in a while for nostalgia's sake.
Longer for me, it's, man, cannot even remember. I really liked that game, but if you wanted your core to like look schwanky, it was not going to be powerful.
Yeah,
like I remember that game.
You could go for style, or you could go for like brute force.
You had to make it the ugliest core you possibly could, and you know you would just wipe the map just totally wipe the floor with them. That's how you knew you had a good core. If the ugly factor was pegged out, you were gonna really clean house.
The ugly factor.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I have made a mistake.
Is there anything that y'all would like to talk about this podcast? I only brought up gaming news, but that's because of the whole gaming thing. Yeah.
Probably in
Welcome
the near
to the
future
stream,
we'll plan
whoever.
some more Rainbow Six Siege and get on that train.
The entrance to that game was odd.
Yeah. The introduction was all or nothing, and we just happened to join Team Glue Eaters for the first couple, and well, it just did not work out.
Out of the 3 matches that we played with other people, there were people that team killed every single match.
Yeah, I don't understand why the out-of-the-box discontent. Is it like, you took my character, so I'm just going to kill everyone?
Dude, I don't know.
And then they leave because their character was taken by someone?
I don't
and they just rage on the team?
I really don't understand why anyone would do that.
I don't either. But then again, that kind of person is probably not meant to be understood.
Yeah. Also, Vest, why are you so quiet?
Obviously, her mic is unplugged.
Or something.
Again.
No, I was watching the trailer.
Okay.
Oh, well then please continue. It's a great trailer.
I'll watch it after this.
Oh, but yes, continue.
Sorry.
Carry on.
You're talking about the new trailer, not an Armored Core trailer.
No, the Armored Core trailer.
Oh, okay. It's excellent.
Yes.
It is intriguing.
Isn't it? Like a plot that's about to unfold, and you're like, I want to know more about this.
I haven't seen it. I just know it exists. So now you guys are intriguing me.
Oh, I'm not talking about the new one. I was talking about one of the older Armored Core trailers.
Oh yeah, okay. So I've got a little bit of Fortnite news, and also, what else did I say? Shadow of the Colossus. I've got some of that because they released a new trailer from Tokyo Game Show today, and it looks fantastic. If you
I really don't know much about that game.
If you have ever wanted to play Shadow of the Colossus and never got to on the PlayStation 2, now is your chance. Well, in 2018, it will be your chance.
And that is, fortunately, just around the corner.
Yeah, we're only 4 months away or something
So,
like that.
If you've never played, i.e. myself, what is the enticing aspect of that game?
Well, the story is very simple, but it laid out in a rather elegant way. You...
As are all the games.
Yes.
Landing site spotted. Nice find.
Oh, found it, I guess.
Any attacks from creatures could corrupt the data.
The idea being that you have this girlfriend or your crush or whatever that is infected with some coma-driven plot device, and you are tasked by these gods to go into the Valley of the Colossi and kill all of the Colossi in the valley. And there are 7, I think? 7 or 9 or something like that. And if you do that, your crush will be saved. And it's very simple. It's very clean. It consists of a horse, a sword, and 7 boss battles, and a giant valley. That's it.
That's it?
You've got little puzzles around how to kill each Colossus. There are ruins to explore every once in a while. Killing lizards will be good for you because it increases grip strength that you're going to need because you climb on the Colossi a lot.
Okay. So it's a relatively short and simple game then.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it short.
Sounds short via description, but I guess it takes a while to do all of that.
The Colossus battles are fairly in-depth. It might take you a little while to get some of them down. But it's from Team Ico, and they always do some very nice things. And I'm glad that they are bringing it back.
Same. That's a game that was, I don't necessarily want to say ahead of its time, but to bring it back now with the software games that we have, just makes it that much more special. I want to say.
I agree. I think they chose the right time to do it.
Okay. So you mentioned the game that we're playing. There's a little bit of Fortnite news.
There is a bit of odd Fortnite news. Just a tad bit. And it was discovered in the community, and to be more specific, in the free-for-all battle update that we can cover a little bit if you want. People were noticing odd names of people they were killing and getting killed by in the game, because specifically PlayStation players were noticing it because they were killing people and getting killed by people that had spaces in their IDs. And that is not something you can do with a PlayStation ID. You can't have a regular space in your ID.
Yeah.
So they did a little bit of digging, and they thought, well, it's cross-play with PC. It could be PC players. And they did a little bit more digging and found out that cross-play for this game has been enabled for Microsoft consoles as well. So
What?
we just gained the ability to play with PC and Microsoft players.
What?
Dang.
This was further affirmed by someone jumping in, like having a friend bringing his Xbox over who has the game and loading up the same match, jumping into the same match as his friend sitting there with the PlayStation 4.
Ooh.
It's happening.
Nobody said anything. It's really kind of a quiet deal that's going on, but I'm very happy it's happening. And it's really cool.
That's kind of revolutionary. Not many people, period, are doing it.
Yeah. And Sony has been quite the obstructionist when it comes to things like this.
Really?
Yes. They've long since said that they are not interested in crossplay or anything.
But they also said that they wouldn't hinder it, they wouldn't support it, but they would allow it, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at this point in time, crossplay only really benefits Microsoft, right?
Yeah. I mean, it could.
Well, if you think about it, whoever's got the biggest market share, it's going to benefit the least. And whoever has the smallest market share, at least in terms of consoles, it would be Microsoft. It's going to benefit them more.
Mm-hmm. That's usually how it is historically, is that somebody who has the larger grasp of the audience doesn't really care for crossplay.
Of course, Nintendo better get in on that action.
Oh, Nintendo ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna stand there and eat glue like they always have.
I know, and if they could just suck it up and do it, they could be a whole lot better off.
Yeah, I found a mimic, by the way. If y'all would like to partake.
Over hither. A little ways away. I can make it.
We also need to go back and fortify the balloon.
We will need to do that very shortly.
But I'm really happy they're moving forward with this whole crossplay thing. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's great that you could unite a community in a very Romeo and Juliet kind of way.
I thought you said you didn't like romance.
I don't really even like Shakespeare, but the metaphor is apropos.
I was like, that's quite romantic. I feel like we kind of speculated on this a little bit. I'd have to go back and check our podcast a bit. But we did mention when we were talking about Fortnite at one point that Paragon was actually already cross-play enabled, and we were kind of speculating, like, how long would it take before Fortnite received that kind of treatment. So I'm glad it was sooner than later.
Yeah, definitely.
I still reserve the right to smack talk.
Oh yeah,
my
absolutely.
fellow Xbox console players.
Well, they will never be as good as PlayStation players. Let me just put that out there right now.
Just saying. Hate to be rude. But
Oh, it's not rude when it's fact. Fast.
It's called the cold, hard truth.
Yep. All right, I'm going
They
back
don't
to
call
fortify
it
the
the
balloon.
warm, cuddly, soft truth.
No. Though I wish truth was more warm and cuddly than, you know, cold and hard. But
Yeah, I can't have it all.
yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? I burned out all of my ideas right fast. We want to talk about the fact that Arcadius got a little tipsy on stream last night after you left, Vast. We could talk about.
Well, one of my friends came by, took us out to dinner, and I was like, yeah, why not?
It
And then a
was
couple Long Island
quite
iced teas
fun.
later. That's how it happened. That's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there so many here? Oh my god.
What? What happened?
I have no idea why there are so many down here. But yes, I had some pretty good matches in Battlefield, all things considered.
Yeah, his aim wasn't bad. He was still positive. I think Danny can attest it was quite fun to listen to him go on a little bit.
I've noticed I tend to talk faster
Indeed.
when I've had something.
That is the thing that you can say happens when you are tipsy. And I think Vast has borne witness to me being tipsy once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
there's that
it's
one stream
fun.
night you had like Russian screwdrivers like out the wazoo.
Russian screwdrivers?
Or is it?
I had screwdrivers. I had a lot of screwdrivers. I think I drank an entire
I
carton
just added
of
Russian to it
orange
because
juice.
it had vodka.
Oh crap! What was that?
I have no idea what that was, but it sounded like a taker.
It is Taker.
I saw you entice that taker. God damn it!
Why? Why did you do that?
Oh, we needed to get rid of it.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, let's shoot it and run away. That's getting rid of it, all right. Here, get rid over here.
My gun was very weak. I needed help with it.
Oh BS.
As she runs in the polar opposite direction behind one of the other characters.
She Zoidbergs off.
Oh man.
What do you mean, run away?
It was all in the name of footage, wasn't it, Best?
What? Maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
You and your ulterior motives.
You know, Vast,
Look,
that's bad
stunts.
journalism. That's real bad journalism.
I don't. Not a journalist. I am a seller of tales.
Seller of tales. Oh man.
Look at me muckraking it up.
Yep. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's fun that way. But what the hell are we talking about? Do we have anything else to say?
It's a pretty non-eventful, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. We're really just trying to fulfill an obligation to stay current on YouTube and podcast often.
Which ain't a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that we could riff on for a little while, and I know it might be enticing to various other people listening. What would it take to get you to purchase the Nintendo Switch?
Actually, if they could just discount it a little bit, maybe like, so right now is it like $250, I think?
I don't know what price it is.
$299.
I do not know.
If it came down, see, I don't actually see it getting discounted a whole lot anytime soon.
Probably.
So that's why I'm hesitant to say that I would just do it.
I mean,
when it's discounted. Even then, they're not gonna. They have no incentive to really discount it.
It's
I
Nintendo.
think it's still selling pretty decently.
Like they don't discount anything.
That's what I mean. So.
What are you talking about?
Nintendo doesn't discount shit.
Yeah, let's just face the facts here. That's just how they are.
Yeah. Danny says she would like to see more games.
More games? Oh yeah, I mean, what it really boils down to is that if Nintendo comes out with a solid, and I mean rock steady, mech game for the Switch, I will probably then go and buy my triad of games, which will be that mech game, Breath of the Wild, and Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how long you're going to have to wait for Metroid because they've just released.
And that's okay. That gives more time for actual good games to come out alongside that could also be in the background right now that they're not talking about.
That's true, I suppose.
And they could potentially come out at the same time, which is even more enticing because I'll just scoop them all up all the same.
I would really like them to be able to more natively deal with network play, because right now it's on an app and it's horrible. And people bitch about it all the time.
I mean, I think a lot of that stuff, especially when it comes to new systems with a much smaller player like Nintendo, it just simply takes time.
Yeah.
Nintendo has never been quote-unquote fast with anything. Unless it's a physical impediment to your play, they're not going to be all over it.
Yeah.
They're going to take their sweet time, which is okay because they usually come out with pretty solid fixes.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of the people that release video games, I think Nintendo attempts to have the more solid finished titles coming out. I'm not gonna say that's true for everything. That have a
little more polish.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's true for everything. Like, there have been some really disgustingly bad Sonic games that have come out, and their Star Fox stuff has not been up to snuff since, I would say, Star Fox 64.
Well, I mean, when you compare it to the classic Origin, kind of hard to hold a candle to it, but
That's true. It's very true.
I think in that case it's because I don't want to say they try and iterate too much, but they don't give you enough of what that game is, which was a kick-ass flight simulator.
Yeah.
But I will say that I agree with you on the fact that overall, when it comes to publishing games, Nintendo's have managed to maintain a level of excellence that we don't see as often nowadays, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
Really sad.
They want to cheap out and get it out now, so that way they can get more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What with the advent of the day one patch, they don't need to worry about it being perfect.
Yeah, people
they can
literally
just patch
use that
it
as
in
their
afterwards.
crutch. For good game development, or sorry, good polished game development. They don't need to. They're just like, day one patch, and then they get lazy and complacent, and we get garbage out of the gate, and we're like, so y'all gonna fix this? We're like, oh yeah, just hold tight real a second, you know?
In their defense, they also use day one patches as an anti-piracy tool. And only support legitimate games with a day one patch, meaning that people that pirate it would get an incomplete version. And it's cool. You got to protect your investment and your work. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming from up top.
Yeah. Alright, they'll go around there. Oh, look who it attacked!
I didn't see it.
This now? Danny, you saw it. It was on stream.
I have no idea what's going on.
Uh-huh.
As the taker ransacked her position.
Uh-huh.
Is it because I'm the only one shooting at it?
Oh, it
Probably.
might be. I'm making sure that this is going right now.
It just went through the ceiling section where I'm standing, so it's up there with you now.
Yeah, it's here.
I think it's dead.
Is it dead?
I think it's dead. I'll tell you what, if they came out with a core Pokemon title, like not one of these like Pokken tournament bullshit things or anything like that. If it was real, legit Pokemon, I would play it. I would purchase a Switch in a heartbeat. That's it.
Master Blaster.
Pew, 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 pew. Oh, it floated up.
Where is it?
I don't know. Somewhere. I think it died. Did it die?
I still hear the music.
It may have died. And Danny still wants you to give it a hug. It's all it needs, Vast. It's a hug.
All it needs is love. Ba ba da da da.
From my bullets.
A bullet hug.
Hey, will one of you guys come over here and try and tell me if you can take anything from there?
Take anything from where? This?
Oh,
No.
I don't. Well, hold on. All right, let's give it a couple seconds and let it collect some more things, and then
Okay.
we'll see.
Is that one of the things?
Yeah, that's one of the things. You should be able to collect items from it.
Gotcha.
All right, so what would it take? All right, I would purchase a Switch in a heartbeat if it had at least one or two solid RPG, like JRPGs.
Okay.
Well, they've already got Breath of the Wild. That's their moneymaker right now. Does that count?
I don't consider that an RPG.
What?
God, I swear my ears are
this?
full of garbage right now.
Oh
Hold
my
on a minute while I
goodness.
clean out what I thought is a huge amount of ear blockage I've got on my microphone. Hold on a second.
It is not a JRPG.
It's totally a JRPG.
No, it's
By
not.
very nature, it's a JRPG. Danny, back me up here, right? Like that is
It's an
a
adventure
JRPG.
It's an adventure game.
You collect things, you level up, you go on adventures, you get a boomerang
it's an adventure
eventually.
game. Zelda has always been an action-adventure game. Just because it has RPG elements doesn't mean that it's an RPG.
It's totally.
That's just how I classify it.
like that was always like my quintessential RPG game that I thought about in the early stages.
Yes.
Zelda.
Yeah. Cool.
I never played any of the ones on Wii, but I definitely played Ocarina and Twilight.
Yeah. So Danny
I'm kind of a stickler for the higher resolution game graphics, so I never played Wind Waker, even though I was told the story was great.
Yeah.
Wind Waker
I'm a
looked
bit-
amazing.
I heard there was too much boating. Wind Waker.
There was a lot of voting. I never played Wind Waker. My brother did, but I watched him play. There was a lot of voting. It was a beautiful game. It was an absolutely gorgeous game, and I hate that it got that.
Bad rap.
Oh my gosh! It's totally not my aesthetic, and therefore it's not good rap.
I see.
It got that Xbox I'm too cool to play this game rap.
So I have a few statements from Danny here. They are going to release a Pokemon game for Switch. I think we mentioned that in our E3 podcast. They'll probably release a Fire Emblem game for Switch.
As someone who loves Fire Emblem, I am about that lifestyle, except for I'm not really into the generational have children and continue the storyline Fire Emblem, but I can see why people like that.
She also does not think that Breath of the Wild is a JRPG.
High five and Danny right now.
No.
Right there, that's it.
No,
High five. Because it's true.
Some people will never understand, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Just because you guys have very loose definitions of what a JRPG is doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Danny
it just means that Danny and I are more correct.
It's perfectly fine that people disagree sometimes. It's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that you're wrong,
like
and we're gonna move
tacos.
on. Oh, the breakfast tacos!
We're not gonna bring this into the podcast.
We're totally bringing this into a podcast.
That's a podcast
this is our
all on its
talk
own.
about anything podcast.
Yeah, this is a bullshit. We're filling time podcast.
That is a podcast topic that could we could bicker the hell out of that for 2.7 hours. Like, that is its own topic.
The bickering ain't coming from this end, I can tell you that.
It would be an even playing field, though, because Arcadius and I are believers in the divine breakfast taco.
And we have two people who have never partaken.
Yes.
Purposefully. So put that out there. Purposefully.
So I'm going to do this mission because it's in a city and it also gives you silver ore.
Oh, wait.
What?
I don't have to be a ninja anymore, I don't think.
Alright, switch off.
But I have to level it up to level 3? No, I'm not doing that.
But if we're going to stay in the vein of food, I made a cheesecake this weekend.
I saw.
And it
good photos.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I must admit that it actually looked really cool and everything around the cheesecake was really cool. But the cheesecake itself was just average. I'm going to need to modify my recipe a little bit. I think I'm going to add more cream cheese.
That's always good.
Vast, are you also looking at the stream chat? Because Danny might be on your side here.
I did see that. I do see that Danny is also wanting us to avoid the breakfast taco at this time. But I'm sure it will continue to come back until I fly down to Texas and then close my mouth and watch these two eat one.
No,
oh,
you are eating one too. You're eating more than one.
Goodness.
Ew. Well, let me talk about my weekend real quick because my weekend
Go for it.
was super special. This weekend, I went to a music festival in Queens, New York. I went to the Meadows.
Queens, huh?
Yes, Queens. And it was the most fun you can have in a parking lot at a professional sports center's front door. It was so good that I felt like 2% more safe using the porta potty there than any other
Oh God.
festival that I have been to. I did not say like it was 100% safe. I said 2% more safe because those
man.
things are
It's
just
like catching
terrible.
STD in a box right there.
I became a camel, let me tell you. I used the restroom once. Every day, I would allow myself to use the restroom once, and then I ran like the devil was after my ass because those things were terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible. However, to put it in perspective, like why I risk my life. Let me tell you who I saw live. So on Friday, it started Friday, and it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Friday lineup. We got there. We didn't get there at the very beginning because, again, it was in a parking lot. It was going to be stupid hot. So we didn't get there until about 3 o'clock that evening. We got there. 21 Savage was playing. Saw 21 Savage, Joey Badass, a little bit of Tegan and Sarah, Two Door Cinema Club, Migos.
Oh, Migos
and then
was there?
Jay-Z.
Sweet.
Migos was there. And they started their set with the, hey, you know us, we're Migos, but here's all the songs that we have 16 bars on. So they did that little medley. And then they turned into their music. But the highlight of the night, for Friday night, was Jay-Z. Jay-Z came out, just himself and his DJ, and proceeded to remind you why he's still, like, at the top. Because he's had hits after hits after hits for literally 30 years now. Think about that.
Yeah, that's a really long career.
Think about that. And it was
and still rolling.
Yeah.
And still rolling. And like just himself, like when Migos came on, they had like tons of hype man, on stage. Jay-Z didn't need a hype man because you knew his songs.
Jay-Z's his own hype man.
He was his own hype man.
But
it was awesome.
Let me stop you just for a moment because I think that you are missing a very important fact about the Jay-Z bit that you told me about earlier. And it is the balloon animal on stage.
So I take that back.
Animal?
Jay-Z was on stage with just himself, his DJ, and a 9-foot tall balloon dog behind him. And when
you can't take someone serious when they come on a singing stage with a giant balloon animal.
And I was just sitting there, and I said to myself, I bet he was looking at a whole bunch of things, and his daughter just happened to walk by, and he's like, "Hey, Lou, what should I have on stage what should Daddy have on stage with him?" And she was like, "A balloon animal, Dad." And he was like, "Okay," and he did it because that's the only way. That's the only thing I could imagine because it was a giant ass balloon animal. I was like, "What are you?" But you know what? You didn't even care. Because Jay-Z was on stage. The only thing the rest of us were waiting for was to see if Beyonce came on stage. And I hoped to God she would because that is the only way I'd be able to afford to see her ass in concert. Because her tickets are not cheap.
Really?
And I have a good job now, but I can't afford. No, her cheap seats are like $400.
Oh my God! What the frick?
My wallet!
Cheap seats. Cheap seats. And that's probably wrong because I know I've seen something for $600. I was like, Beyonce, please.
That's so much money to go listen to someone sing.
Well, I will say this: she does put on, and she's literally the hardest working artist out there. When she puts on a show, she puts on an amazing show. Okay, all right, I'm digressing real quick, and I'm going to get back to this because no one wants to hear me talk about Beyonce all night. I don't even want to talk.
Well, the podcast isn't specific, so just carry on.
Yeah, do whatever.
I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
So
we'll never watch concert from cannot afford would starve.
When she does it, when she has her HBO special, watch it then. But no, so when I was a TA, you try and reach the kids and let them know, other stuff. And I taught freshman composition, and so one of the things that I was really trying to get across to the students was how to present yourself as an expert in your writing. and the way that you do that in college writing, and they just weren't quite getting it. And so a friend of mine and I, we had like in class, we had a trifecta of things that we would compare to. He would go to Halo, like he would go technical with Halo, gameplay, UI interface, and Google Glass, and I would always go to Beyonce and Halo. Like that was our in-class thing. He'd say Halo, and I immediately, if I said Halo, he would bring it to Halo this, and I would bring it to Beyonce. Anyway, so I was like, okay, so we talked about like professionalism and how do people present themselves as professionals, as artists. And so I brought up Beyonce because she's a really easy study to do, and she had this really amazing video out for where it's just a concert video. And so she had herself performing the same song several times in a row, and we just kind of analyzed that video and talked about, well, how do you know she's a professional? Well, they intersect all these things over and over again, and Beyonce was doing that dance the same way every time. Her backup dancers were like in sync the same way every time, and you knew it was different because the costume changes, but it's the same way every time. She gives you like that machine-like perfection every time. That's how you know she's a professional on stage, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's just one of those moments. And so I really wanted to see her on stage, but I didn't. Okay, so that was Friday. Moving on to the next night.
Whew.
Again, we got there at about 3 o'clock because Big Boy from Outkast is at 3. And let me tell you, Outkast is probably my favorite hip-hop/rap group because they're the first group that I decided I liked for myself. Like, no influence from friends or family. Like, I heard the song Southern Plagiaristic, and I was like, that song is awesome. And so I've been a fan since then. And Big Boy has a lot of great hits, but I was mad at the concert promoters because they had him at 3 o'clock, which is like stupid hot in the parking lot. And he had the whole crowd dancing, and we almost died. Like, we almost died because we were having a good time. But, so Saturday, it was Big Boy, De La Soul, MIA, LL Cool J, Erykah Badu, Future, and the Gorillaz.
Dude, day 2 is where it's at.
And that's just the second day. And on day 2, like, that's when well, not all the artists, but LL Cool J brought out Run DMC. And Future brought out Nicki Minaj and Young Thug. And let me tell you, we were standing there, we heard Nicki's voice. I was sitting on the ground because my feet were done at that point in time. And I heard Nicki's voice, and I stood up, and like they literally rushed the stage. And we weren't that far back. We were out by like where the sound equipment was. Everyone crowded the stage so much that we literally walked forward 10 feet.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's some pretty hardcore crush.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm dead.
I'm coming to save you.
Oh, I didn't even know you were trying that. I was out doing other things.
All right, don't revive. I'm here.
I could not save it.
All right, and then my last day, and I'll stop talking. But was St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Ghostface Killah, Action Bronson, Weezer, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And there were other people there. Those are just the acts that I saw. I know we don't have too terribly many people like watching the stream, but if you ever get the chance to see St. Paul and the Broken Bones live, I don't care what kind of music you listen to, you absolutely need to see them live. They are the epitome of amazing Southern rhythm and blues / rock. They are so amazing live. And it's like a your fave can never kind of thing. Like, literally, there are very few people in the world who could just go out vocally and do what the lead singer does on a daily basis. And it's stunningly good. Stunningly good. There are just people there who you just knew didn't listen to that type of music, who hasn't heard like a live brass band since like high school.
Yeah.
Just enjoying the hell out of themselves. And then, and like I told my brother, like once he takes off his shoe, just get your camera ready because something ridiculous is about to go down. And he took off his shoe and he just took everyone to church. It was amazing. amazing what this kid can do. And they're from Birmingham, Alabama, which is, not far from home. So give it up to the near hometown boys.
All right.
And then Red Hot Chili Peppers and Weezer. Oh my god. Oh my god, so amazing. I am still riding my concert high, and it's been a couple of days.
Sounds like fun. Only the problem is, I'm not a big fan of live music. I like music, just not really the whole thing about.
When it comes to music and any given artist, I very much appreciate the countless hours they spend sitting in a studio tweaking every single pitch of every single instrument to make sure it sounds exactly how they intend it. And then likewise put on a very good pair of headphones and listen to the song exactly how they intended it to sound. And live kind of screws that up a little bit.
Well, I will say this. I have seen a lot of different bands and artists live in my concert career. And I told my brother, well, also I'm getting kind of to the point in my concert career where I'm not about that life of just rushing to the front of the stage and being the line of the mosh pit. I did that in my early 20s. This girl ain't there anymore. I'm not going to do that. And so I was like, oh, shit.
What?
Oh, man, have I witnessed some good mosh pits.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
But, hold on. But, so we sat for a lot of things. And I told Mike, I don't know if this band is going to be that good live. I don't know if this band is going to be this good live. Because I've been disappointed,
Yeah.
But Weezer was amazing live. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were amazing live to be rocking out in their 50s. Like, presently surprisingly good live. And the other amazing thing about those bands specifically, because they have that catalog and because they have those songs that have really amazing choruses, it really becomes a giant sing-along.
Yeah. Everybody knows the discography. Like, they're anthemic at this point.
It's such a good experience, guys. If you ever want to go to have a really chill concert experience, go someplace with me, because I'm not going to be all in the front.
I would probably prefer that, because the last concerts I went to was Warped Tour in the summer.
Whoa.
And that was, man. Let me tell you, I enjoyed some of the music, but the fact that I was struggling to live and survive the entire time made it a little bit of a damper.
I can see that.
Warped Tour always seems fun, though.
It's chaos. It's controlled chaos in a fenced-in area, and one of the few places that you just don't want to go to the bathroom at.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Oh god.
Crap.
Oh god.
Well, the first two nights were actually really chill. It wasn't until the last night when they had Bass Nectar, Weezer, and Red Hot Chili Peppers that it was insane. And we left the concert like 20 minutes early because there's only one train leaving the station.
Ooh.
And so we had to get onto that train.
Yeah.
And so we left early and we were riding the train, and like it was full the night that Jay-Z was there. It was almost double the size for the Chili Peppers. And they were still like almost to the back fence. Like when we were leaving. It was insane. Wow. And it was so good. And just imagine all those people just sitting there singing. By the end of the we were kind of in the middle, and then I looked at Mikey, and he looked at me, and he's like, you want to go sit down? I was like, hell yes, please, thank you. I'm so old.
You're like, my feet!
My feet! It so was. It was so sad. It was so sad.
The look on your face is, I'm going to die. May we sit? Yes. Yes, let's sit.
So we left in at the beginning of Californication, and it took us the whole song, maybe the start of the second one, just to get to the crowd. Yes. So everyone is looking at us like, why are you leaving? And I'm just singing, Dream of Californication.
Excuse me. You dream of...
You know this song too? Let's sing it. Let me by, please.
Let's walk at the same time. Please, we have to leave.
Oh man.
You should be just like where you going? You're just like, my train, my train.
So Arcadius, you use some good dovetail joints on your cabinets?
Yep. Well, it wouldn't do dovetail. We did box groove and biscuit joints.
All right. To bring it around to, you know, what we all did for
over the
weekend. I made cheesecake. Bass went to a music festival, and Arcadius
I
built
made cabinets.
cabinets. There's a mimic over here. Y'all interested?
I am interested. I'm on my way.
And I kind of want to see these cabinets because you've been working on these for weeks.
3 weeks, 3 weekends.
Ugh.
And next weekend will be clear coat all of the lower cabinets and drawers, which is going to take forever, and then I can bring those back. And then the next following weekend after that, I'm going to install everything. So I got 2 more weekends to go before this whole kit and caboodle is done. But oh man, it's going so good when I'm done.
Where'd you go?
I'm standing on the thing.
Are you upstairs?
No, I'm over here.
Plus, I mean, I kind of have to go homeward to do them since I don't have any woodworking tools, and my dad has all the woodworking tools.
It's nice to have a hookup like that.
Yeah, because I plan to get metalworking tools, and by our powers combined, we'll build anything.
Yeah, dude. Eventually, you will have your custom controller, and it will be exactly to your specifications.
Should we chip in and get a 3D printer? Just
actually, Vast, since you hit that topic, and we can just talk about anything. There is a device which is basically a miniature CNC from a company that I've been looking at, and they have interchangeable heads on this CNC, and one of them is in fact an FDM 3D print head. So it is a CNC 3D printer and, more importantly, a CMM, or a coordinate measuring machine, which allows you to place an object and have this thing with a little probe come down and do a bunch of touch-off points, and you can craft these touch-off points in 3D space and form skin meshes based on a bunch of little coordinates that you've taken.
Yeah.
And by doing so, I could reverse engineer my favorite controllers, edit them, and then 3D print test pieces.
Yeah, right quick, before we move on, I know we covered a little bit. But for those people that don't know or might be watching this in the future, how about we explain what a CNC is? Because that's not something that everyone knows.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Okay, so a CNC machine, man, it's been so long I forgot what the full acronym is. Basically, it's a machinist's tool. It's a computer-controlled vertical mill, if you might think of it that way. Whereas, like, in the olden days, you got guys sitting there with end mills, basically with tools that are designed to shave metal. And essentially, if you think of it like this, a lathe, which is something that cuts metal horizontally, and a mill,
there are
which is
also
usually
wood lathes.
Something that cuts with heads. There are wood lathes too, but I guess I'm more metal specific.
Yeah.
With a lathe and an end mill, you can craft any tool. Those two things can essentially create... Like, if civilization goes to hell, you need a lathe, and you need a mill, and you can rebuild everything. It'll take a while, but with those two tools, you can make everything.
You can do it.
Yes. So, a CNC is just a very fancy computer-controlled end mill. And it's like if you had... I guess if I'm going to put it even more layman's terms, if you had a drill press that could move in all three-dimensional axes and cut things sideways, up and down, that is what a CNC machine is. So you can do really complex surface curvatures because doing them by hand would be nearly impossible. But for a computer, once you've programmed a toolpath, it's easy.
See, when you say CNC, I immediately think Music Factory. And
Well, I know, yeah.
I know it's not right.
So
But
I believe it's
product
computer
at that
numeric
time.
computer and numeric controlled, and that's why you have to specify what kind of computer numeric controlled device are you using. Well, it's a CNC mill or a CNC lathe, and that is where I believe that acronym is derived from.
Ah.
And most modern software is you have a 3D software and you model a part. You take this part and you export it into another software that generates what we call toolpaths based on a given size of end mill that you're using or various shapes of cutting tools. And you program that software turns this toolpath stuff into something called G-code, which is very low-level programming. You can think of it like that. But the programming is literally made up of only numbers and 3 coordinate directions of X, Y, and Z to move through space. So it just tells each motor, go X-axis 3 inches, and it does that. Now go Y-axis in the positive direction, half an inch. And by stringing together, because at any given time, wherever your tooltip is, it has 3 coordinate points, X, Y, and Z. You move the tooltip somewhere else, well, it has 3 coordinate points, X, Y, Z. So it's literally thousands of little coordinate locations telling it to move and how fast, and that is where you get what looks like one continuous curving motion when it machines compound surfaces and stuff like that. Or slots, or simple parts, or things like that. For the non-mechanically inclined.
Yes, yes.
Again, that would be me. Yes.
So
that is a good
it's pretty much
explanation.
what I do on a daily basis. Is deal with CNC stuff, and plus it's awesome because you can, like I said, make anything.
That is a long way. But I bet they'll try and do it.
So anyways, the idea, if we backtrack now to I think what I was saying, I'll be able to potentially get a little tiny CNC, or maybe not a little one, I'm looking at some bigger ones, but they are able to do 3D printing. They do have little probe attachments, so I can essentially reverse engineer any kind of surface or object, and then I could potentially craft myself a custom controller. That is the end game.
I like this game.
But it's not just, okay, that's cool, you crafted a controller, what about the guts? Well, I'm so glad you asked, Fast. So what I intend to do is actually take the guts out of a standard off-the-shelf controller, look at how the hell it's assembled inside, copy the attachment points on the inside, and therefore mold a custom body, but with the guts of an existing OEM controller. So it would be like if I could take this PlayStation controller, get rid of its terrible alignment of buttons and joysticks for my big gangly hands, and have something that's comfortable to hold, but still function and work exactly like it's supposed to. That would be the goal.
I can see that. I can see that. Well, I like the idea.
You're
Putting it out there.
You're just gonna have to come down to where we are with either currency or the materials and make something yourself out of this.
Okay, so
we can do
so here's
whatever.
The thing. Here's the thing. Last night I couldn't sleep, so I put it on the crunchy of rolls. And right now they are running this very interesting series called is it the Banco? Oh my gosh. the bang. It's a competition, a sculpture competition.
Is it real or an anime?
No, it's a real thing.
Okay.
I'm looking up the official name for it. Anyway, it's an international competition of sculptures, and by sculpture I mean like toy creators, but they're actually making sculptures. Like the, oh my gosh, what is the name of the companies that create like your favorite anime sculptures? Your One Piece, your Naruto sculptures, those kind of things.
Yeah. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
So I sat there and I watched like 2 episodes, and they were just talking to the artists who are putting these things together. And the guy who won last year is doing another One Piece model. And I was sitting there looking at these things, thinking to myself, this looks really amazing. I want to try, but I wanted to do it in a 3D.
This stuff.
Oh my gosh, it was really cool, and they were the guy who, my favorite statue was one of Zoro, who's my favorite character from One Piece. So of course I was going to like his entry. But, you know, they talked about the tradition of how he makes this, and, you know, there's one guy who does 3D print only. So he starts with a sketch, and then he actually goes through with 3D print. And then there were guys on there who only do the hand modeling. So they're sitting there with clay sculpt. So they're with the clay and the tiny knives, and they're doing like the really intricate detail work in there. And the guy who is doing the Zoro statue, he works in both mediums because, again, he's a professional, and so he will go both ways. But for this one, he's doing it by hand, and he's from Japan, and he's like, I really want to win this because these are Japanese characters, and you know, we want to be the best and represent ourselves the best. And it was just so cool. So if your machine can help me achieve this goal and let me make the Kakashi statue of my dreams, then yes.
Well, to go an extra leg further, one of the things I was going to, as part of my hobby of looking at interesting new toys and technologies, was affordable 3D scanners.
Oh, here.
And so with a 3D scanner, you could literally take something that you're like, I want another one of these, and scan it and then print it.
Oh, the future is so bright.
I will say though, one of the training classes I went to for my company, because we got new software, this third-party company that does the training, they own some really nice 3D printers, and I'm talking about $250,000 3D printers.
Woo!
And they
expensive.
Oh my god, the resolution is like, it's so good. It's just like, holy smokes good. And like, you could just sand it a little bit and have like perfect sculptures. Like, oh my goodness. And they're functional. You could print a sculpture of, well, not sculpture, like, you could print active chain links and literally hold up the end of a car. That's this
cool.
awesome material called, I think it's Polyjet. It's legit. And anyways, you can also print it in color, and they had an example of one of the employees that 3D scanned his 2-year-old's face and printed it out.
Oh, really?
And
It's like not creepy at all.
It was kind of creepy looking, but it was trying to show off the power and detail of the 3D scanner combination 3D printer, and it literally looked like the kind of mask you would hang in a freaking shop that makes
like a special effect
lifelike
mask.
dolls. Yes, a special effects shop is where this thing looked like it belonged, and it was crazy how accurate it was, in full color.
Dang, dude. Dang.
Yeah. But I don't exactly have a spare $250,000.
Do any of us? Well, at least the 3 of us don't.
No.
Yeah, Danny, if you're holding back, you better speak now. Because I got big plans, Danny. If you want in on this, now's the time.
Wah! All right, are we ready to set this thing off?
Let's
I think
do
we're
it.
like overkill right now.
Yeah.
We've overkilled the crap out of this.
Hopefully we have. All right, I'm gonna set it off.
Starting now.
I'm so glad we got to talk about that topic. I love
Yeah.
machine thingies,
Absolutely.
mechanical gizmos and widgets.
That is a lot.
Jabber fix it, we got trouble.
It sounds as if Danny's in the same boat as all the rest of us. We do not have $250,000 to burn.
No. One day.
Yes.
One day.
One of these days, when we're making our tycoon money off of all of the shirts that we will be.
T-shirt tycoon. That's the name of our second game. Just wait for it.
What was our first
Copyrighted
game?
today.
I actually thought about if I
not
got a
really.
printer, we could print things for the channel, random widgets and figures and whatnot.
Yeah, dude.
Let me-
Absolutely.
Y'all follow me in here, please.
There's a blaster.
Do they have a health
over
buff?
here. They do. When they die, they release a little explosion that will heal enemies around
Real
it.
surviving ones.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We need some floor traps. Get some flow traps up in here.
What is attacking our fort over here? What is this? What broke?
All hands,
Uh,
under attack.
He broke
Atlas
through.
is under attack? What?
Yeah, one got through. I don't know where it went. It got through.
Where'd it come from? From here.
Oh, he probably squeezed. No, he can't squeeze in right here. I don't know. We'll just make sure we'll fortify this up just a smidgen.
Sure, sure.
Hank. You ass.
Need help over there?
So I've been meaning to think about suggesting that our channel have some kind of mascot rather than just a wave icon, like a character
Okay.
of sorts. But I don't know where to start with that because, you know, the world's your oyster when it comes to making characters.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do after I got good at drawing, which will take
Little
forever
sketching,
because I hardly ever
some
fucking
character
draw,
stuff.
is that I was going to put together a few characters to represent us. And I was even thinking about, like, making a webcomic from the three of our hijinks as characters.
But that would imply we each need to have a character.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to make a character by myself and just have me
Well, I actually
represent
thought
it.
there would be starting off as like one, you know, cartooned or some character that's like the channel. Kind of like how Vocaloid has like that weird blue-haired
Yeah.
chick that's like their little mascot kind of thing.
Hatsune Miku.
Something similar to that. Yeah. Something along
Hank.
those lines.
You're just having all kinds of trouble over here, Vass. Ah! Another Hank. So, what would you suggest as a mascot?
I don't know. Quite
I'm not
frankly,
sure I completely follow with that whole idea.
Well, I mean,
about just the
it's-
mascot thing.
I mean, I'm agreeable with having one for each, but literally it's just like something that you can set up for poses or random like little clips based on our antics or something that's along those
Sure.
lines. It's like an affiliated scene clip, or I don't know, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Like I said, wherever the wind takes you with it, that kind of thing.
Alright, well, I'll kick around the idea, see what happens. I also really need to get on looking for other jobs. So,
Which
I'll
will take
put it
away
in the
more
list.
from your sketching of things,
Yes, it will.
considering that that's like a full-time job in and of itself.
Just about, man.
I know, I've been doing it since February.
That's very true.
Force taken on high.
Ooh. Another Hank is coming. I hope I got him in time. Yeah. Danny, do you have any suggestions? I'm going to throw it out to the chat right quick. What should we be represented by? What would our mascot be, if not a wave? Do y'all have a better suggestion?
Hank,
Someone behind us?
No?
I guess good back there?
Yeah? Arcadius is alright.
all these freaking carols.
Well, Danny, just keep thinking about it. If you have any ideas, let us know.
Oh my god, there's a lot.
You're part of this community, and hopefully you're here to stay. And we'd love to hear from our community.
Oh, Hank, not now. Oh no. No. God dang it, Kara, where you at? You stop that right now.
So many hawks. Upward.
30
seconds left.
Oh God! Shoot him in the shins! No!
The fort is falling.
Why is this one over here?
Oh, Hank.
Ruining everything.
Commander.
But we're done.
Woo!
Double jump.
Wah! Atlas fired. That was unexpectedly loud. I don't know how long we've been going, but I think we've about rounded out the podcast.
For the night,
I
yeah,
think so,
I agree.
I feel like we are over. So,
There's your random bucket of stuff.
yeah. Hopefully next time, maybe, we'll have a more directed approach to it all. Don't hold your breath. Thanks for watching. If you have a suggestion as to what we should do, or if you think we could do something better, please tell us. Because the whole, like, building a reputation on the internet thing, it's kind of slow right now.
It's a daunting task.
Yeah. What else? Do we have anything else to add? Is there anything
Nope.
else y'all want to say here at the end?
Stay tuned. Until next
Stay
time.
tuned for more.
All right. Well, I guess that ends it. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. And if you're watching this during the day, go back to work.